This is kind of an in-between video. Might put it on Wednesday, but I wanted to talk about the times that we are in now. If you're a chosen person, if you're chosen, or you're a super sensitive, you are just a human being, first of all. And you're noticing, well, God, this is a scary place as far as how that it's not set up for your type. It's not set up for you. In fact, you can get the regular old chronic illnesses if you really participate just looking at it, just encountering what's happening out there as the world. You have to detox. And if you didn't know that, that's what's happening with you. If you're constantly feeling exhausted, and of course you want to stay, isolated, you feel like that. Of course, like your money making agenda, which is nobody's idea, by the way, has you doing something that you don't want to do on a daily basis. Maybe you feel it in your gut, like, oh God, it makes you sick. Well, see, I feel for you. I've been there just a little bit, and that's when you know it's time to go. See, for me, my personal life is very different than a lot of people. I don't talk about it much here. I kind of beat around the bush, but you can probably get the gist of some of it. No, the truth is it's very illusory. See, what I'm talking about as an individual has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a highly civilized person, intergalactically. But I'm on this planet. Here I am as a human being. Okay, I'm a human being. What the hell just happened? Oh, something just went in front of the camera. I'm a human being, and that's what's happening, is that the human being comes awake to all kinds of information. See, that's what Aquarius rules, and now I'll try to change my facial expression into just, we're having an easier time. We should be. You have to get away from people. You have to get away from people right now, period. That's one thing that an Aquarius can say to you, even though we're all about people. I say we because I am officially an Aquarius. I have an Aquarius moon. And if that's you have three possibilities here of what you really are as your rising sign. It's the sign that was rising on the east horizon when you were born. And then you have your moon sign is second most important. Mine is Aquarius, my first one is in Aries, and then your sun sign is what the mainstream has us doing, is sun sign astrology, which is telling where the sun is on a day-to-day basis, from degree. It switches 1 degree every day, and it goes through the entire zodiac every month. And see, the moon is doing that. Sorry, it's the moon that goes through the entire zodiac every month. It's the sun that goes through the zodiac, one zodiacal sign every month. But the moon does that all signs every month, through the from full to full, or new to new moon. So anyway, the moon is more important. Therefore, it's faster moving. It has to do with your daily life moon, your emotionality, your family, your home life, your intuitive gut feelings, how you go there. Rules Cancer. It has to do with feelings. It has to do very much with all this movement, oceanic building of our understanding of something that is of the I am. See, it's a notch above the I am. It says I feel. And then the notch above that is Libra, that says I love. And then a notch above that is I know. Yeah. Or no, it is what Capricorn says is, okay, so it goes, Aries is I am, Cancer is I feel, Libra is I love. Before it was, all the books used to say I love before the World War II. All books now say, after the 40s, I balance. So I balance, and then Capricorn says, I use. Isn't that a trip? See, it says I use and doesn't say I abuse. So that's one thing to become aware of. So I just wanted to point out these times that we are in right now, the human organism is having to deal with something that now I say that through communications, it's the only way to start acknowledging, wow, did we not just go through something? Are we not going through it now? And how are you faring? Right? And then economically, we open up a central bank based in good language. Really, we have good. Talk about social credit scores. Yeah, give me some time, and it's going to be shocking what I come up with. What's happening? Why is there such imbalance? You see, and what it needs to be done is going to be something that's disturbing to the intelligence system that isn't a real intelligence system. It's working on protecting itself of its deficits. The way that it's not the so-called, like, say, holy power, I would say, but not like that. I want to use those words. I want to say that it's not awakened yet. It was never awakened yet. It has to see that this is a school, this is a ground through which you can experience coming from heaven or hell. You can go to heaven or hell here. See, and it's a profound opportunity to take responsibility, to feel that sense of responsibility. That's what it is. And once you do start feeling it, you're starting to take more and more freedom of what? Well, you have your body here, and I'm not saying be responsible for your body. No, you take the freedom to feel what you're going through. Just have the allow yourself to have experiences. What are you going to do? I mean, just allow it, right? You accept this is happening. Hi, how are you? And then the next question is just really, if you want to get anywhere with it, depends on how awake you are. You know, you ask yourself, what am I doing on a level of consciousness where this is real? Just say that, you know, I mean, you can ask yourself, what is real? Well, keep going. Yeah, keep find out who's asking. Okay, and well, having said this, I guess somebody has died. What was his name? David Lynch, and he had something good to say about it. But I say that his half the time or 3/4 of the time his language was off a little bit, but we can appreciate how excited he was about something, you know. And until we get the leaders up there, which are women, to start talking about things, we haven't gotten anywhere. First of all, that's what's reproducing itself here. As far as the whole organism, the women are the leaders here. If she doesn't have control of what comes in and out of her as far as consciousness, if the whole concern was to become consciously aware, pardon me while I just try to erase some things here, because they might take my whole point of doing something here away. I've been erasing some videos. I've changed a lot, you know, under the influences that I've been under. I can't say that I'm walking away as a loser, but I can say that I feel like I will if I don't watch what I do, make the very most intricate right moves. And the main thing, and I think I speak for a lot of us here, I'm speaking for the whole organism here as humanity. Hi. Can you say that you're humanity too? You haven't felt that sense of responsibility yet. You don't even have your eye open. But I know mine is. And I'm highly misunderstood, and I don't care. At least I understand, and the ones that can and hear me and understand me are going to make it close to me, or maybe not. See, I have a feeling it's like, well, just wait a little longer, and you will. You have to change your vibrational frequency, Shauna. Can you be more pleasant? No, particularly, not with this toothache. And the feeling that I get, you know, I mean, over the financial system, I'm not worried about it, but who wants to be in debt, right, to their dentist? Yeah. I think that, if anything, because we all have teeth and we all have to fuck with that, That's the first thing that the social system pays for, which is the economic system that should be computerized here via having acknowledged that even that we are here. That first of all, see, we cannot really take responsibility in such the way that they would like us to believe so, like privately. It's not privatized. We're not a privatized enfranchisement or whatever you want to call us. See, business. Okay, I mean, God, it seems all about finding your brand and getting your business and making money. Well, what are we gonna do, babes? Are you gonna really think that, oh, it's just up to your private little self to have your private little eensy beensy teeny weeny bank account? You're not responsible for that or the other way on the other end. You notice how if you get the more and more money you get, the more and more hassle it is, right? Why? Why? Well, because you went through the fucking hassle. And what are you going to do? What else are you going to do with it, right? If you think you own that much, right, what else are you going to do? You have to do what? Oh, you've got to invest in an apartment building. So you have to go and buy a fucking stock of something, and you have to keep it going. And well, hopefully you can just really see they want you to keep it banked. Babes, these words that I'm saying, that means it's holding it away from you. What are you going to do? You people, okay, are you human being? Can you hear what I'm saying? Then I've laid off a little bit on the language that I found, but no, it's going to keep laying on me, babes. I need to be stabilized here. I'm going through another round, okay, if you want to know personally, there's a cycle of abuse humanity has been put on it though. Monthly, right? Monthly. Well, the government will have you on a monthly check. How about that? That's your monthly traumatic. And you get towards the end, and the scarcity, and you better have patience. Just deal with your whatever it is, whatever you do. Never reach for your creative lives because you can't. Because your cortisol and your amygdala, or whatever you're talking about, your fucking brains are damaged by this fucking abuse system across the board. Shauna, really? Yeah. Here's what it is. You have to become enlightened and super conscious to know that you're right. None of this is ours, and we keep. What did Terrence McKinley said, or whatever his name is, McKenna? He says, stop fighting over the bones and the ashes left of the fucking dead shit that's dying all around you, or something like this. I don't know. He said it better, but it's all borrowed here, and yeah, sure. Do you have a great idea? So do it. But how can you do it? And is it really a great idea? Because if it was, why can't you do it? You see, I think the main idea is how do you hoard the resources to get to do those ideas? Guess what the main fucking resource is? We. We. See, I didn't say you. I said we, baby. EWE. Put the E down. Keep the E up. What does EWE spell? You. Do you know your English? Let's have fun. It's an interfacing system sent from benevolent beings who live in outer space, particularly the symbol system called the English alphabet. See, I'll get out of this clown act about it. I will get more and more refined. I'm going to go into the intricacies of it. How it's like, no, there it is. There's the language right in front of your face. Now, do you know how to play the video game? Did you notice, babes? It's kind of like The Simpsons now. How did The Simpsons start predicting political events? Well, that's very easy. But and how it looks and everything. See, what I have found within the English alphabet, particularly the equations that you have to use, all foreigners of all languages are having to learn this language that comes out of the English alphabet, how we spell the words. Very important, spelling. Now, you guys are doing abracadabra. That means that you can hear anything. Pretty much you can hear a word, and like I can say, water, water, water is poured onto you now. And you will start feeling, you think you have gotten wet. You can go, oh no. And I say, no, I have freedom of speech for a reason. Now there's a reason why that will never die. It's because, but you want to find out whether or not you have been lassoed already and stuck in a cinder, encased and harnessed inside of an electrical box. If you're just fighting for your freedom of speech at this point, because it doesn't matter, babe. That doesn't fucking matter one bit. Nope, it does not matter. You cannot create something with a fucking word. I don't care what you people say. You can speak into reality. Now what I'm doing is getting my language down right. See, that's sloppy to say. You, thoughts are things, and you can be careful of what you say. Well, it's going to come true. No, it's not. See, you have to be a lot more powerful than that. Fucking zombie robot people out there. All of you people are operating on that, and it's wretched. Now you can treat your neighbor like crap because you have some kind of belief in there. It's all it is. That is belief. That is a thing of the mind, and of course it has a lot of jibber jabber behind it. I'm saying you can clean up the jibber jabber. Yeah, and we have to. That's what's going to happen when Gemini goes into Uranus. But that's what's going to happen to the organism naturally. See, there's something called, I hate to say it, gurus. Maybe teachers. See, but gurus is a better word. It's not like a teacher. Teachers are like almost like torturers. But see, guru is known that, see, it's 11:33 right now. It's within you. The guru is within you, babes. If you know as much as you know how you are with another person, see, and that's saying a lot for the non-self-reflecting narcissist. There isn't anything in there, so they don't know what you mean. They don't know what you mean. All they know is that people are untrustworthy, and they think it's people. No, actually, you are. Because you do think you have a separate thing happening there individually, to where, well, you forgot to go in and really educate yourself about maybe turning that around. But let's talk about how that you went towards the false self-education, and then you're misled there for one, and then there's a lot of stuff happening within you insecurely, and insecurity is one of them. Number one, inherent jealousy because other people have either their own intelligence intact because they weren't as abused as you were when you were a kid. Talking to your narcissist now. And or it's not so much abuse, really. I mean, it can happen in so many forms. Everybody knows that, and it's a huge book to open up. And why did I start getting here? It's a black hole. Did we just go down a fucking black hole? Well, congratulations. It's probably why I have all these subscribers right now. But really, I like that I'm getting a lot of likes about my more creative side, talking about the language that's here that I say, also the spelling behind it. The real stuff, babes, when you take your freedom to capitalize and you look at the birds and the words, like how I pick out in the word she is the word he. That means, see, that's the more intact reality. If you want to point out the truth here, you say, no, look, this is more the truth. If it's he standing alone, that's not it. See, you can say, you also have the word he in the word they, and you also have the word he in the word thee. And it's not saying that it's non-existential and it's no good. It's just saying, okay, thee and they is the he in it really is just E, okay? Don't get too confused. It's energy. Period. It's energy. Now, how is it being used? Well, we see that there are people, we call them they or them, but you notice how that there's the word he in there. There is no she or her. Isn't that weird? Just go along with me. Let's study this. I mean, why do you think that is? Well, there's one definite side to this reality. There's matter, and then there's antimatter. There's matter, and then there's non-physical energy, frequency, and vibrations. See, and it is said that the antimatter or energy, frequency, and vibrations is what governs all matter. See, matter starts with an M. Whenever I do this as an M symbol, it's an upside down W, by the way, or vice versa. It doesn't matter as long as you have the both of them here. Then now you have a complete wave, which is humanity, and that's the symbol of Aquarius. But we determined it kind of looks like this, right? Yeah. So, or no, like this. Yay! Oh, throw your hand signals. That's the thing. On here, that's the thing. Is it keeps coming across. It's like you have to say, "Orale." No, the gang of human beings are awakening, and we do our graffiti on the typewriter, and you start pulling up them words. You're not ashamed to show that he is in thee, and he is in them. But what I like, the real word, the real magical word in the word them, is the word him. If you look up, you have to know your real English, and really, it's very profound. The word him is something we're referring to now in music, but really verses. You'll have a verse. See, we're talking about the universe, and when you start hemming or theming, that means that it's not like a lemming that goes off the cliff, although they have hijacked that shit, and it's terrible if you end up doing that. You know, you don't wear your hat in that. You just say it's at or an A, because that's heading back towards the frame. A frame. Ram. See, inside the word, see, it's just am. A. Atom. Atomic assemblage. Telling you the science that I have uncovered there that has downloaded into me, the way that I can start bringing it up to where it's like, okay, you remember Sesame Street or something like that? Really, it's good to have it rhyme and make it like click in for people to where it's like, I'm here to tell you that if you were to get it too and you start understanding it and start probing and start understanding with me, try to see how the language is here already. I was trying to tell you about the Simpsons. How do they know that the future is going to turn out the way it does when they show something in the 90s and it's happening now? Well, that's for me to know and you to find out. Because the English alphabet actually shows us something profound like that. It's a medicine if you do it right. And now I'm talking about if you actually decode it correctly, like I'm trying to show you guys. Correctly just means that you start fitting keys. You will start fitting keys that seem to just make all too much terrible sense. And yeah, the promise is that if you keep going, I don't know if this is the same for everybody, but for our species who live in outer space, who are benevolent beings, okay? We don't mean anybody harm, all right? There's something happening on this planet that has turned every bit of the organism against itself. Black, white, yellow, red, and it's a joke. It's the biggest fucking joke. It's called the reversed curse, right? I was gonna say universe. Yeah, it's a joke. It's such a joke that you better know how to laugh after a while. Yeah, because it is that big of a joke. Well, it's that important to get that medicine, gain the medicine of laughter. If you can tell that joke to yourself in reverse, babes, and start finding whatever you find, share it. You're supposed to be communicating on this thing something that you find because you're a heart, and that's a laboratory that has opened up, scientific laboratory, that you're so important to the pieces of the puzzle right now. Otherwise, that outcome of what is put together like for you instead of like with you, you being there, see, you being with it instead of being your own worst enemy, becoming a black boot, and then see, under the programming, big time. could happen, that it hits people, that they are weaponry. We are looking at a time now where the organism won't afford to live in darkness in such that way, because alarm is being set off. Their lives are being disenfranchised too much. And they're being told a joke. I mean, they're being hypnotized with, look at the fucking Fox 11 News and all that shit, man. Look at that shit. Those people, down to the people that hold the cameras and are in the helicopters flying around and reporting, they were carefully trained. They are a species on this plane that are called non-human beings. They don't have empathy. Boy, they are militant. They can be. Yeah, if you ever get into the mentality of militant people, they are just robots. They are a deadly weaponized machine, and they justify it to the T. See, there's a lot of people here just like, yeah, well, don't you like your freedom? You people. It's ongoing here that we have brutality and senseless shit happening here. What the fuck are we going to do about it? How are you doing with it? You know, either you're hit by it, the kinder, gentler machine gun hand that's doing Hallmark cards, handing you a birthday card with no money in it. Tell these fucking people. I mean, really, it's happening now, right now, where um, they're flaring up. They're flaring up and they're trying to get to you, right? If you're a chosen one. I think that's what I started talking about this in the very beginning, erasing some content here on my computer just to keep going. Because it's an in-between. I wanted to talk about how you have to protect your energy. I don't know if you've heard it anywhere else, but it's vital right now. We're trying to heal. We're trying to find out what we need to do with ourselves to get better. And there's people that do not care for you as much as that you can care for yourself. And that's a no-brainer. But what I mean is, like, if you notice, they're not really there for your well-being. They were there. Is this the same video? You know, your narcissist doesn't make it next to you only when you're feeling down. You know that saying where it says misery loves company? Well, they say that for some reason. And I'm an Aquarius moon who by no means is saying that, oh, we don't need each other, just isolate and hermit out. No. Turn yourselves on. This is what Aquarius rules, man. It rules the higher-minded of things. Like really getting into that. See, that's where it's like putting the 60s, that era down, man, because it's like, no, this is the true age of love opening up. Pluto goes into Aquarius, trines Libra, who says, yeah, what about love? Good God. And if our money is really hooked into this system of love out there, like in Love We Trusted, woo! Where did it go? It doesn't even know how to live. It does not even know how to live. If it were just to give. See, Libra rules selflessness, love, I balance. It rules music in the big, giant, thick rulership book of Libra. It rules music, the ability to self-organize through consciousness, selflessly just looks at the information. It's the only one ruled by a mechanism that is a machine that goes hither and thither, and it's really sensitive. Oh, God, talk about ultra sensitive, man. Libras are the most fucking sensitive fucking people. Especially the poor men that are Libras, you know, they're Venus ruled. It's kind of like the stigma with the Taurus ruled people. And God, they're just wrecks. Taurus people in general are wrecks, though, to me. I mean, everybody would say, yeah, they're these, but they're Venus ruled. How can you not be when you're looking at what's happening around you and it's so out of whack? Disharmony. See, the opposite of harmony is demony. It's not harmonic, it's demonic, you know? It means that it's off tune. It doesn't even know what it wants. It doesn't know why it's there. I hate to bore everybody, but this place is full of programs. And the one that you want to get on is the one, God's plan. God's plan is a beautiful, flowering, ever oscillating, in and out, feeding celebration of the I am. And that's it. There's the self for you right there. It doesn't really see itself as being separate as just the capital S self, baby. You've seen it in Sanskrit where they put that capitalized S there, and I always mention it on my Facebook page. Hi, how are you guys? This is another video going up on Wednesday because, well, I'm being aspected really well by the Aquarius planets, and I'm supposed to express and be what I'm supposed to be here as just a beacon of light that expresses. Light is an expression that, especially through communications, that's what we're going to have. It's going to keep lighting up with the Gemini Uranus event. You know, we're going to have Uranus going into Gemini after it gets out of Taurus here. But see, we have yet for Uranus to go forward in Taurus here because it's been backwards for a while, and it actually hits. It's right on. It's trining my Venus, which is like I can't even tell you how my how I feel that my love life is being hijacked unless I open it up to the higher octave of love, which includes other people. See, if love is true for me, it means that I'm achieving a level of being with others who they can all be in the same room with me, and if they love me and I love them, see, if they're in my life, we are in love. This is just good friends, babes. This is not the 60s either. I'm not talking about, and now we have an orgy. Although, no, I'm just kidding. No, really, I mean, I'm a very private person. See, what I'm trying to rise above the fake love system, which has everybody believing that it's isolated to a one-on-one, and it's like, no way. A fucking Aquarius will tell you right now, and if they can't tell you that, then they're miserable trying to hold that shit together in the dark. And you better come out and say, no, actually, I think, whew, I think even besides for that money disaster over there, there's a easier way. We can't figure out the money thing unless we get more creative and elevate our minds into consciousness. And pretty soon everything and everyone begins to sound differently, as well as it starts to look differently. Yeah, and less of the privatized notion of struggling. And see, it needs to become realized that you're fed a crock of shit about most everything. Of course, science behind why you think you should live the way you do about everything. Medical, your body, the foods, your entertainment, all of it. You know, we are living in the most exciting times now. Here it is, 33 and 33 seconds coming near. It's like 5, 4, 3, 2. There. Yeah, it's up to you, babes, as a generation. To see, we are interdependent. It's not codependency. If it's codependency, then you are one generation. You're somebody, I don't know if it's generational, but you're somebody in the dark. You have somebody else in the dark. You're taking advantage of somebody's darkness. That they can't get out of it. That they need to heal and stuff like that. Getting back to your narcissist who gets close to you only because you're fucking way down. See, you could see them for 3 years or even 30 years in the same place and be kind of like, and you can wonder, well, why can't that person here just be cool? I want to be cool with them. I'm waving to them. See, but if you ever get down and out and they really envy you, they really kind of want what you have, or they don't like what you have, that you have it. Maybe they want you not to have it. Maybe they want it for them. Maybe, you know, there's all kinds of scenarios why a narcissist is there looking at you and just sitting there going, giving you the fluoride stare when you're like, confluence? Hello, every day we're seeing each other, or every other day, or every year it's been something. Well, you can go that way for a long time, but then finally you fall low. And then You start reaching out for help. You start looking differently. And then they'll move in. That's when they move in. That's when they'll actually pounce on you and you'll see that you have an enemy there. Or they'll try to move in and they're going to be everything to you. It's weird. It's like, well, no, babe. It's hard to understand that too because it's like you would like to think that it's right to have people there when you're down. And it's like, no, 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 no. A healthy person wants people there only when you're up, when they're feeling up. They don't, they kind of, the healthy people, even animals do this. When they're feeling sick, they isolate themselves. Otherwise, they're going to get their ass kicked. See, when you're feeling good, you're with the pack. And everybody is looking at each other and they're like this and, and they toss each other the bone and I'm not saying that human beings are animals, but no, they can be above that and they can really understand this phenomena that's happening. There, reversal, reversal. Now everybody, it's just suggested now that you just take care of that sick person, take care of the sick. I don't mean it like that either. I'm meaning it as, watch out. Is there something you can do other than that? Maybe it was meant for somebody else. I don't know, babes. Maybe they'll find each other. How about that? Strength in numbers. Do strength in numbers. Yep. Yeah, imagine it. Imagine. You have somebody there with no legs, but they have arms. And there's somebody there with legs, but they have no arms. There's somebody that can hear, but they can see, and they can't hear. And there's somebody that can't see, but they can hear. See, those people can manage, and if you get 5 of them together, can make one whole person. Cool. Strength in numbers. I don't know. God, minute 36, and I sound so fucking insensitive and all this shit. Where does this come from? Where is it going? I say we're looking at a time where we're going to see some gnarly fucking shit. And you, as a EWE, are already knowing right now that you cannot afford anything other than love. To be love, the higher octave of love, because that's what shatters everything that is trying to crust up around you and be oppressive and making you stuck. And I hope this is being heard and I pulled out of it. God, like going all around the whole fucking hell of it and then pulling into where, you know what I mean? And did we get to now yet? Well, that's heaven for you. What's your choice? I am. We're all going through something, we all have something going on, and I keep seeing myself as just somebody who keeps communicating through it all. I just keep communicating. I want to communicate that higher octave, like the why you and I are even here. There's a mission. In the video game, I say that we play it in such a way that opens our central banking system, because there is evidence that in our physical world, there is a central food bank system where they'll give you a relief fund for free. They say, well, you can have food if you just follow these certain qualifications. And it's interesting to see who the qualifications are. Is that you just have to have a very low income, right? And a lot of them are women that have kids, or just women. But no, there's men that are on the food stamp system. See, my point is that's centralized. It's a services division. It's a division. They have to say it. They say it like this: social service division. Because there is a division. There's 2 types here. One of them affords to play the game of saying, no, we can foot the bill privately. And the other one is damn well going to say, no, we don't have to foot the bill privately. There's a social possibility here. First of all, are you a social person? There's where I'm getting into this social credit thing that might come up more and more. I already seen it, and it's like a big uh-oh. Why, Shauna? What's the problem? Well, we're going to have to get on men's cases. And women. And women. I say all of them are being very sloppy when it comes to their language, and they're like, if they have a belief, first of all, you shouldn't believe anything. But they do, when they start talking about it, they think they're going to start speaking. It's sloppy. And they don't stand for much. Women, gosh, where are they? I'm speaking for my species, and I'm just sitting here going, God, how disappointing, because a lot of them are turning towards men as if they were the answer. And it's like, no, babes. First of all, your nervous system is the answer. What happened? Did you just give up and give it to that fucking clown who doesn't have a really good bearing? Because that's just the way it is. See, a man's intelligence is brought up to the level of the intelligence of the women he is able to be present to. That's just a fact. And as long as you see a society up there where there's no women up there that can say pretty much the same thing that, say, like what David Lynch was trying to talk about all his life, but it was very sloppy. Very sloppy. He's talking about, he doesn't know how to separate awareness from consciousness. Although he uses those words, you can tell by the way he uses it, it's like, great. So all that time spent, and you stood in front of people, and you never knew what you were saying. You couldn't fucking say it right. Because there's a way to say it right. There's a way to know what consciousness really is. And there's a way to know what awareness is in contrast to that, like what it's up to, how they both are correlating very much so. You wouldn't even know consciousness unless you had awareness. There's something called conscious awareness. What does that mean, though? This is where I think that I have a valid conversation. I have a valid life for the rest of my life to be a conversationalist, a Buddhist. That's all that Buddhism is. A conversation between these two very diametrically opposite type of embodiments, who one of them has achieved conscious awareness and the other one is just the mind there saying, prove it. Have you ever come across that? As a scientist, as a spiritual person, there's a mind there, or just really it's the anomaly of who knows what. No experience at all saying, prove to me that all of this comes from a non-physical source. And it's like, well, I can, but you have, in order to enter into that laboratory, you have to prove to me that you have a heart.